Okay. Next case for the integration by rational fraction, we have case B, which is also linear, pero we have repeated cases. So the last topic is non-repeated, so walang nauulit na roots. Ngayon, we have repeated roots, so pwedeng maging dalawa or pataas. In that case, we will do this kind of method. So, kapag nagkaroon ka ng numerator over, let's say, x plus a raised to n, ang mangyayari, you will have a, then x plus a, then b over x plus a, then squared, hanggang sa maabot mo yung x plus a raised to n. So, kung ano yung degree ng repeated roots, dapat ganun din kadami yung maging fraction mo. So, in our example, we will have x cubed over x plus 1 raised to 4 dx. So, yung denominator natin naka-raised to 4. So, we must have 4 fractions in this example. So, we will now have x cubed over x plus 1 raised to 4. So, in that case, you will start with x plus 1. Then, the next one is x plus 1 squared plus x plus 1 cubed plus x plus 1 raised to 4. So, mag-stop tayo dun sa x plus 1 raised to 4 since yun yung nasa denominator natin. So, pataas ng isang degree. That's how you do linear but repeated. So, assigning letters para sa numerator, you will now have A, B, C, D. So, you will have to find the values of A, B, C, and D. Now, simplifying this equation, you will have to multiply this by x plus 1 raised to 4. So, ang mangyayari, you will now have x cubed, then a multiplied to, maka-cancel yung isang x plus 1. So, that will be x plus 1 cubed. Then, next is plus b multiplied to x plus 1. Cancel yung dalawang x plus 1. So, matitira is x plus 1 squared. Then, next is c multiplied to x plus 1. Then, the last is plus d. So, you need to simplify first yung mga equation. So, you will now have x cubed equals a. Then, you need to expand x plus 1 cubed. So, you will now have x plus 1 cubed equivalent siya sa x plus 1 squared multiplied to x plus 1. So, you will now do x squared plus 2x plus 1 multiplied to x plus 1. Then, we will now have x cubed. Then, next is plus 2x squared. Next is plus 2x. Then the next one is plus x squared. Then another one is plus 2x. Then another one is plus 1. Then check first. You will have x squared. Then 2x squared. Then the third term must be x. Sorry for that. You will now have, then the next term is x squared. Then 2x. Then 1. Then simplifying, you will now have x cubed plus the x squared is 3x squared. Then the next term is plus 3x. Then the last term is 1. So instead of using x plus 1 cubed, we will use x cubed plus 3x plus 3x squared plus 3x plus 1. So you will now have x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3x plus 1. Then for the b, you will have x squared plus 2x plus 1. Then for the c, it's still the same, that's x plus 1. Then for d, you will have plus d. So by degree ulit, the highest degree in this equation is third degree. So you will have third, then second, then first, and the last one is the constant. So for the third degree, you only have x cubed, so the coefficient there is 1. Then for a, you will have x cubed multiplied to a, that is a. Okay? Then third degree here, wala. So plus 0. Then third degree here, wala din. So plus 0 ulit. Then wala din third degrees dun sa dulo. So first equation, you have a is equal to 1. Next, for the second degree, you don't have second degree dun sa part na yun, so that will be 0. Equals, second degree here is 3x squared multiplied to a, that's 3ax squared, and the coefficient there is 3a. Then here, you will have plus b. Then kay c, wala tayong second degree, then kay d, wala rin tayong second degree. Then, pwede na natin ma-solve si b using the value of a. You will now have 0 equals 3 multiplied by 1 plus b. Therefore, b is, transposing this to the other side, that is negative 3. So you have the value of b. Next, for the first degree, wala tayong first degree dun sa side na yun. Dito, you will have 3a. Then the first degree here is 2b. Then the first degree here is c. Then pagdating kay d, wala tayong first degree. Since you have the value of a and b, you can now solve for the value of c. So magkakaroon tayo ng 0 equals 3 multiplied to 1, then plus 2 multiplied to negative 3, plus c. So you will have 3 minus 6, that is negative 3, but transpose it to the other side, that will be positive 3. So the value of c now is positive 3. So you will have the value of c. Then the last is the constant. You do not have your constant there, so that is 0. So ang constant dito is 1 multiplied to a, so that is a. Constant dito is si b, so that is b. Constant dito ay c. Then the constant here is d. So applying a, b, and c, we may now solve for the value of d. So you will now have 0 equals 1 minus 3 plus 3 plus d. Since you have negative 3 and positive 3, pwede natin cancelin. Ang matitira na lang is 1 plus d. Therefore, the value of d is negative 1. So, we will now have an equation of integral of a, which is 1. So that's 1 over x plus 1. Then for the b, you will have negative 3. So plus negative 3 over x plus 1 squared. Then for the c, that is 3. So that's 3 over x plus 1 cubed. Then for the last part, that is plus negative 1 over x plus 1 raised to 4 multiplied to dx. So the first term can get through du over u by letting your u as x plus 1. Then you will have your du as dx. So you will now have du over u. Pero yung second, third, and fourth term will undergo our formula by simply having first term is ln of x plus 1. Then pagdating dito, you will now have minus 3 integral of x plus 1 raised to negative 2 dx. Then, third term is plus 3 integral of x plus 1 raised to negative 3 dx. Then, for the final term, you will have minus integral of x plus 1 raised to negative 4 dx. So, itinaas lang natin lahat ng denominator for us to integrate yung equation. So, this will be, if you let u as x plus 1, your du is dx. So, you will now have u raised to negative 2 du. So, ang mangyayari is u raised to negative 2 plus 1 over negative 2 plus 1. So, we will now have ln of x plus 1 minus 3, then u raised to negative 1, since negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So, you will have x plus 1 raised to negative 1 over negative 1. Then, the next is plus 3. Then, x plus 1 raised to negative 2 over negative 2. Then, the last term is minus x plus 1 raised to negative 3 over negative 3 plus c. Then, simplifying this for the final answer, you will now have, for the first term, that is ln of x plus 1. For the second term, since this is negative and this is also negative, we may now have plus 3. Then, since negative yung exponent nito, pwede natin ibaba. So, that is plus 3 over x plus 1. Then, the third term is, this is positive and this is negative. So, magiging negative 3 over 2. Tapos, negative to, pwede natin ibaba. So, you will have 1 over x plus 1 squared. So, magkakaroon tayo ng negative 3 over 2, then x plus 1 squared. Okay? Next, for the last term, this is negative and this is also negative. So, magkakaroon tayo ng positive sign. So, since negative din sa exponent, pwede natin ibaba. We will now have 1 over 3. Then, x plus 1 cubed plus c. So, this will be our final answer for this question. Okay, example number 2. We will now have the integral of x minus 1 over x multiplied to x plus 1 squared. If you will notice at the equation, this is a combination of case A and case B. Case A is linear non-repeated, while case B is also linear but repeated. The non-repeated equation is x, then the repeated equation is x plus 1 squared. Okay, so we will do this as x minus 1 over x, then x plus 1 squared. So pag iiwa-hiwalayin natin, pagdating sa non-repeated, you will have over x. Then pagdating naman sa repeated, you will have x plus 1 raised to 1, then the other one is x plus 1 squared. So, stop tayo kay squared kasi hanggang squared lang naman sa x plus 1. So, in that case, we will have 3 fractions. So, you will assign as A, B, and C. Now we will find the value of A, B, and C. Simplifying this equation by multiplying it to x, then x plus 1 squared. So in this case, pag minultiply ito dito, magkakaroon tayo ng x minus 1. Then this term multiplied to this term, you will now have A, then maka-cancel si x. Ang matitira is x plus 1 squared. Pagdating kay B, pag minultiply ito dito, maka-cancel yung isang x plus 1. So, ang matitira is x, then yung isang x plus 1. So, that is x multiplied to x plus 1. Then, pagdating kay C, you will now have C multiplied to x kasi maka-cancel si x plus 1 squared. Now, simplifying first this equation, you will now have x minus 1 equals A multiplied to x plus 1 squared is x squared plus 2x plus 1. Then pagdating kay B, you will now have to distribute x kay x plus 1. So you will have x squared plus x. Then pagdating kay C, it's the same as cx. Now we will do again the by degree method. The highest degree here is second degree. Then we will have first, then the constant. Okay. Finding the coefficient of the second degree, wala tayong second degree dito, so you will have 0. Then ang second degree dito is A. Then the second degree here is B. Then the second degree here, wala din, so wala tayong dadagdag. So the first degree dito, you will now have 1. Kasi 1 yung kasama ni x. Then pagdating dito, the first degree here is 2a. Dito naman, you will have plus b. Then the first degree here is c. Okay? Then last equation is for the constant. You will have negative 1 equals, then the constant here is a. Pagdating dito, sa b, we do not have constant, so wala tayong dadagdag. Then pagdating kay c, wala din tayong constant, so wala din tayong dadagdag. So in this case, the value of a is negative 1. Tapos pwede natin gamitin si a dito sa first equation para mahanap natin si b. You will have 0 equals negative 1 plus b. Therefore, your b value is positive 1. Then, pwede natin gamitin si b and a para mahanap natin si c. You will now have 1 equals 2 multiplied to negative 1, then plus b, which is 1, then plus c. So, since you have 1 to the other side and 1 to this side, pwede makancel to. Then you will have negative 2. So, the value of c is positive 2. So, applying the values of a, b, and c, you will now have the integral of a, which is negative 1. So, that's negative 1 over x. Then, pagdating sa b, you have positive 1. So, that's 1 over x plus 1. Then, pagdating kay c, that is plus 2 over x plus 1 squared multiplied to dx. The first and the second term is under of du over u. If you will notice, if you let u as x here, your du is dx. Tapos dito naman, if you let u as x plus 1, your du here is also dx. So, negative 1 is constant. Pwede natin ilabas. You will now have negative Then this will be dx over x. That's d over u. So you will have ln of u, wherein u at the first term is x. So that's ln of x. Okay? Then here you will have dx over x plus 1, wherein you will have d over u. Tapos ang u mo dyan ay x plus 1. So you will have plus ln of x plus 1. Pagdating naman sa third term, this is under ng power formula. Kaya lang, you have the constant 2, so that's plus 2. Then the integral of x plus 1 raised to negative 2 dx. Tinaas lang natin sa x plus 1, so you will have an exponent of negative. So to integrate this, you will have to set the u as x plus 1, then the du is dx. So you will have u raised to negative 2 du. So ang mangyayari is u raised to negative 2 plus 1 over negative 2 plus 1. So you will have plus 2, then x plus 1 raised to negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So that's raised to negative 1 over negative 1 plus c. Then copy these two, that's negative ln of x plus ln of x plus 1. Now simplifying this equation for your final answer, this is both ln, pwede natin pagsamahin. The positive is the numerator and the negative is the denominator. So you will now have ln of x plus 1 over x. Tapos this one, this is positive and this is negative. So you will have negative 2. Then this is negative exponent, pwede natin ibaba. So you will now have minus 2 over x plus 1 plus c. So this will be your final answer.